So it looks like in order to access our little friend in there, this whole piece is gonna have to come off, which is simple enough. Screw, clip, 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 screw, and then this will pop up. From here, this you don't have to take out because it's not connected here. And we shouldn't have to take this off because as long as we can lift this and get it underneath to those screws, it'll be fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that, and hopefully that be it. Yeah, now once we take this off, it looks like we're gonna have to take this metal plate that's back here off as well. We'll see when we get into it. So I already took the screw off of that side and one of the clips over there that's behind the camera. I'm gonna try to take the rest of these clips out. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a metal piece under here that's gonna have to come out. I remember doing that before. There we go. Feels weird doing work on the focus after so long. Right now, I'm beginning to get a engine code for this car that says misfire, and before I do a video on that and it be nothing, I'm having a sneaky suspicion that if it is something, it's gonna be one of the fuel pumps. Because from my understanding, this vehicle has two fuel pumps. It has the low pressure fuel pump that's inside the tank, and then it has the high pressure fuel pump that's right here. That big jalopy that's right there. And if it's one of the two, knowing me, I'll probably just end up replacing both of them just for peace of mind, because I've already replaced pretty much everything in here brand new, with the exception of the high pressure fuel pump and the low pressure fuel pump, which when I was building this I was already going to replace that but never did. But if that's what's giving me those codes, then I'll go ahead and do that. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I think the code that it's giving me is P0304, which means misfire in cylinder 4. But when it idles in place, it's perfectly fine. No codes come out. When you're driving it decently slow, the codes don't come out, but after a while the codes pop up, and then you can feel the engine hesitating, and then it doesn't let you go up to a certain speed, almost like it goes in limp mode. So after doing what I did with the fuel, what I did is I resetted the code. I let the car run in place for a while. I added some injector cleaner. I put a higher grade of fuel in it because I was putting 87 in this, so I put a higher grade of fuel, which I'm starting to do 90 or 89, whichever one's available. And hopefully that makes a difference, because on my Civic I was having the same exact code come up, but for that one it said random cylinder misfire, which means it's either one of the 4 cylinders is or all of them. So what I did is I reset the code on that. I did the same exact thing. I put some fuel injector cleaner into that. I lowered the grade of fuel on that because I was putting 93, and it's supposed to take 90, but from my understanding it doesn't matter if you go up grade as long as you don't go lower grades. But code came out, so what I did is I just went from 93 to again 89 or 90, and it's been weeks now since I've done that to that car, and the code never came back. So I'm hoping, knock on wood, the same thing is going on with this. I did that today, and I went for a drive in it. Codes didn't pop up. I tried driving it like I stole it. Still no codes come up. So hopefully that's what it was. Clogged fuel injectors, maybe just the fuel grade. I don't know, either one, but hopefully that's what it was, and the problem is fixed. But so far so good, and right now I'm doing the suspension. So back to that. Underneath this there's this plate here, which looks like it's going to have, there's 1, 2 bolts here which look like they're 10s or 12s, and let me see if there's any in here. Doesn't look like there's any here, but I'll remove that and then I'll be back at the video. Okay, I got it out. As you can see, this is just flapping around. I got the metal piece underneath, which I don't have to take out the wipers. I just lift it and I can access underneath right there. That's a factory, one of those factory bars for the suspension. But we gotta loosen those up, and then the top part of the suspension should drop, and then I'll get back to the video when I get these tires off. Alright, so from the looks of it, we are going to need a number 15 right there to go on to this. I believe this bracket transfers over to the other one. 15 for that. A 15 for this right here. For this one up here, I believe you can use an 8, but the one I found that fit is going to be, I don't know if you can see that, 5/16. 5/16 right there. And then up top, a 13 for these 3 that are right there. You can see one back there and these 2 up here. 13. So I'm gonna take those 3 off. I'm gonna remove that, this, and that, and then I'll pick the video up after if I come across anything. Otherwise you'll see me on the time lapse just pull this out. And it looks like it separates right here from it, so I might have to give it a few love taps with my hammer to loosen that up from the rust. Hopefully it's not rusted solid on there, but we'll see. So as you saw, with tons of massaging, I was finally able to get it out. I found leaving the screws finger tight up top after getting everything disconnected. Massaging it with a hammer on these 2 points with some penetrating fluid. Right here, I used the WD-40 rust release penetrant spray and just banging it over and over, just slowly comes out. And then when I got it down to its lowest point, I wasn't able to move the suspension out. So as you saw me in the time lapse, I had to use my spring compressor. I put it underneath this part, and I grabbed the spring and I compressed it all the way till those 2 things touched, and then I was able to forcefully get it out of there. So I haven't even checked, but let's make sure we even got the right suspension. We didn't do all that for nothing. It looks right to me. Let's see if I got the right side. This looks to be the right, the driver's side. Yeah. Yep, that's the driver's side. Let's take out the bag here. Let's see if it even says anything about what side this goes on. It doesn't say anything, but it looks exactly the same except newer. So hopefully I don't have to put the spring compressor back on this in order to get this wiggled in there. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some anti-seize on this shaft right here, or inside of there, or maybe both, to prevent it from locking up the way it did, and it'll make it easier to put in there. I don't see anywhere it locks it, so because normally there's like a little indent, like a ring going around it that's indented, so that when you put the screw in, it clamps it and keeps this from moving. So I'm hoping when I put the penetrant on here, it doesn't cause this to move around inside of the well over there. But also, when I was removing the screw, it looks like it's this part right here that was up, and as you can tell, it uses an Allen wrench, so you got to put your Allen wrench here with an open end or whatever around it to take that bolt out. Same thing when putting it back on. So let's get this new sucker in there. We're going to do the complete opposite of what we just did. I have never in my life such a struggle putting on suspension, especially in the front. This freaking thing took so long and so much banging to do. You gotta line everything up, right? And then this is so new, it's thicker than. I tried opening this up as much as I could, which if you can open it more than I could, that would definitely help, because the more open you can get this to slide this in, the easier it's gonna make this for you. But it's in finally, and I'll put everything back together. Is done. It's in factory. It was a pain in the ass, but it was done. Both sides sit in factory. As you could tell, I changed the rims out on them. I painted and replaced the rims with the Civic rims. Don't think I did a video on that, but either way, I'm gonna respray them at some point. But yeah, there you have it. For watching, see you on the next one. Stay tuned to J-Tune. Peace.
Why so serious?
You gonna fix the car?